Right. Oh, that was the right thing though, not polished. There we are, that one. Thinking about it, we might need to get some of that there. Cobble. Lots of cobble for my building of wall. Dirt. Gravel. That was not gravel. Thought I got a lot more gravel than that. Andesite and granite. So andesite. Andesite, and then granite is over here. This is not granite. And I need the polished. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, that'll do. Also need to get rid of that and that. Smooth stone. Bollocks. Gonna have to go and get some smooth stone. Gots to fill in the holes. I have one of those. I have several of those. Flint, where are you, Flint? That, and potato. Potato, potato. Yeah, it's everything put away. So all I gotta do is go get some smooth stone to fill in some of the holes. Make me diorite. Oh yeah, plenty of diorite. That's actually a lot more than I actually think I need. So that'll do me. In a minute I'll show you what I've been doing in the nether as well. Oh, waiting for this headache to subside. Go away, headache! I hate headaches. Went to the opticians last week. Got new glasses. I decided to go with glasses that have full of frames, because before I had rectangle ones, the lengthway rectangle glasses, because I thought I'm sick and tired of when I look down right and left I don't see anything, so I'm going out of the rims of the glasses because there's thin rectangles. So I want a pair that are full frames so that I can look all the way around me and not have to worry about going in and out of the frames. And these are perfect, so no matter where I look, I am inside the glass, which is nice. Dentist appointment tomorrow. Fun, 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 fun. And I need new pair of headphones as well. So that's always fun. Try and think. Watched. Ooh, I watched Suicide Squad. Got into a mild disagreement with my brother over the movie. I'm going to tell you my thoughts on Suicide Squad, even if you don't want to hear it. I watched Suicide Squad. I went to the cinema, and I've always said I wouldn't. But I decided, well, I'm going with a friend, so I'll go on then, I'll go watch it. Not a massive fan of DC movies. I think they're all far too depressing, far too dingy, far too moany and whingy. I hate them. Especially when they did it to Superman, because Superman is Superman. He shouldn't be moany, whingy and depressing. He's Superman. Don't mind Batman being minorly whingy and depressing, but when you do 4 movies that are nothing but whingy, depressing, and whingy, then it kind of gets on my tits. But I didn't like Superman vs. Batman. I thought it was a badly written, badly done, terribly thought out, waste of space, and Jesse Eisenberg as the Lex Luthor was fucking atrocious. Worst casting of all time. And then I watched Suicide Squad, and I revised my estimate on the worst casting of all time because I could not stand Jared Leto as the Joker. I don't know what the hell he was doing, but he didn't play any of the iterations I remember of the Joker. I used to read Batman comics from like the 30s to the 60s, and because my dad used to have them. I used to love the Joker in them, but he was playing more. I don't know what he was playing. He seemed to be playing some kind of cartel mafia boss than the Joker. Probably got the character from. I think if you had to pick a comic book, I'd probably say the Arkham Asylum comic, which I couldn't stand. I hated the artwork to it. I hated the characters to it. I mean, having Batman self-harm, for instance, throughout the bloody thing is just insanely terrible idea. So I was not a fan of the Suicide Squad. Well, I was not a fan of Jared Leto character or whatever he was playing in Suicide Squad, and I thought he was far too much of him in the movie. And I thought that, spoilers, the way they edited the Joker and Harley Quinn together, it made it seem like the Joker was in love with Harley Quinn and the Joker was never in love with anybody. So I was like, what the hell is going on? But it also seemed badly edited as well. It seemed like the film was really, really badly edited. For instance, there's a scene, spoilers, the scene in the helicopter. I really got the feeling that the Joker was going to throw Harley Quinn out, but he didn't. It just cut, and then they were crashing. And I'm like, what's going on? And then now Jared Leto's complained because they cut a lot of his scenes out, which I'm very happy about because, on one hand, because I didn't like him as the Joker, and I think there was too much of the character in there anyway when he wasn't actually part of the Suicide Squad. So he's complained quite strenuously, I believe, about his scenes getting cut out. I didn't mind anybody else though. Everybody else was playing their characters I thoroughly enjoyed. I thought What's Her Name did a good job playing Harley Quinn. I thought that Will Smith did a reasonable job playing Deadshot. I thought everybody was reasonable at their parts. The bloke Killer Croc was awesome. The bloke I can never remember pronounce his name. Then you come to the woman playing Wallen, for instance. She was awesome and rivetingly evil, which I thought was excellent. But then you come to the bloke playing Rick Flag, who was one of the original members of the Suicide Squad back when the Suicide Squad started back in the Brave and the Bold in the 59, I think. Because I was reading about the comics, so I've never read them. So I was reading about them. I was reading up about them before I watched the movie, and I thought that his character was basically a copy and paste of you name a soldier character in a movie, and that was that. It was a copy and paste. So Channing Tatum in G.I. Joe, copy paste Suicide Squad. You name it, copy and paste it. So I was like, well, I didn't quite see the point of that. And then speed this high. The storyline I thought was a bit bleh, a little bit bleh, because kind of left you going, oh, I don't know. I felt it wasn't a villain. Did you notice that one of the critics complained that there wasn't a villain in one of the criticisms I was reading? And I agree with it. It feels villainless because they are actually villains. They kind of left it empty on the villains. Everybody's good or mediocre or sort of in between good and bad. I don't know. I don't know what they were going with or going for. Zombies are pissing me off. So, I don't know. Whoa! Found it. How did he make it up there, but then didn't go around the corner to come again? So he made it up here, but then didn't come around the corner. What sense does that make? Ah, anyway. Now time for truth to see if I didn't fuck this up. So all I gotta do is just dig up until I hit that. Until I hit the water. Cara, blah 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 blah. The model, lots of jobs. My brother reckoned she was awful, but I didn't think she did a bad job. The problem is she comes off as being. She comes off like Kristen. What's her name, doesn't she? Kristen Stewart. She comes off as being vacant all the time, so you really don't get a feel for her. Which is a bit strange. You wonder what she's thinking about when you're watching the film. I think she's thinking about what she's gonna have on her sandwich. I'm gonna have to take I just realised I'm gonna have to take these two walls out if I'm gonna do the 4-wall thing. Never mind, we'll see. It'll be an experiment. I need that. Found it. Ah! No. Don't dig that out. Right. No, I actually need that. Ooh. Yeah, it's going to come out. All of the things coming out. Well, I think I filled it in properly, but looks at it. I hear zombie. Okay, I got rid of that one. Didn't I hit that last thing? I swear I did. No, I didn't. Right. Where's that zombie? Why do I keep missing my thing? But, now this is the weird thing. Now I originally stated, when I watched Suicide Squad, I thought, nah, pile of shit. But then I watched Gods of Egypt. And after watching Gods of Egypt, I kind of changed my opinion on Suicide Squad. Because I watched Gods of Egypt, and it was what it was at the end of the day. It was a cheesy, actiony, tongue-in-cheek comedy movie that basically went wherever it wanted and did whatever it wanted. And after watching that, I was watching it with a friend and I was like, well, that was basically what it was. And just a cheesy little movie that was highly enjoyable and had some good one-liners in it, which you don't get nowadays. In my opinion, the golden age of movies was... I gotta get rid of that water. The golden age of movies was the 80s, when you had cheesy action movies that weren't about anything and just were fun, and you had your heroes and you had your villains, and I need to get rid of all this water. So I know where to stop. Ooh. And I don't know. You don't get that anymore. And I'd like to go back to that, to just make movies that aren't about anything. You don't need to make movies that tell an epic story. You don't need to make a movie that is all about character development. You don't need to make movies about how department stores and things are made, and how characters fought through depressions, and you can just make action movies purely just because they're action movies. I don't see anything wrong with that, and you don't get a lot of that these days. Well, I picked it up, but I think there's something else. Where the hell is that zombie? I mean, where is that zombie? There's definitely another water source here somewhere. This one, I think. Nope. This one. 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 One of them. One of them is a water source. You just filled the water source up already. Found it! So yeah, that watching Gods of Egypt, it kind of did change my opinion, because Suicide Squad, as much as I don't want to admit it, was what it was. Ow. Ooh, that hurt. It was, at the end of the day, what it was. It was a enjoyable, I suppose, action movie. So if you take it away from being a DC movie, which is one of my problems with it, in the DC universe, is just... I went up the wrong one, didn't I? Yeah. The DC universe at this point in time is depressing, and you just want them to lay off the depression and the... Didn't I dig this side up at all? No, really, you went up the wrong thing. Idiot. Yeah, you want DC to lay off the depression. You want DC to lay off the doom and gloom. You want DC to lay off the bloody drama. You want it to tone it down a little, put some one-liners in things, and then Suicide Squad, I suppose, did that to a point. I don't think it went as far as it could have, or I think maybe at some point it did get re-edited because they were really, really worried, because after all, Superman and Batman failed so badly, and maybe they thought, bollocks, we do not want to make another massive bloody bollocks. Do not want to make another massive flop, and after all the bad criticism that Batman vs Superman received, maybe they thought, yeah, well, we're going to tone it down, re-edit it, sort of sort some things out. Possibly, because it did seem really, 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 really badly edited. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and then the whole. For instance, the Boomerang, Captain Boomerang, and his Teddy. Never even it's shown in 2 scenes and then never mentioned again. And I was like, what? Are they going to do something with that, or are they not going to bother? The answer is they're not going to bother. So maybe they'll release a re-edited version on DVD or something. Maybe it'll be the depressing pile of crap that it's supposed to be. I don't know why DC have decided. I do know why DC decided to go depression. It was, I think I've mentioned this before, but it was because of Batman. Batman Begins, and Batman: The Dark Knight, and Batman. Bleh. I mean, they were all depressing. They were all about Batman being a whingy asshole, and they did well. So DC decided, oh well, they did really well, so therefore all of the DC movies are going to be dingy and dark and depressing. So when people sort of Batman and Superman hit, and then people were like, well, what the fuck's this? Why is this so dingy and depressing? DC were like, well, because you've wanted dingy and depressing, you've wanted dingy and depressing this entire time, and you enjoyed dingy and depressing in the Batman movies, and people were like, well, no, now we don't want dingy and depressing because Marvel movies aren't dingy and depressing. Marvel movies are quite fun. Why aren't you making your movies fun? So I can kind of see why DC got irritated and scared with the backlash of Batman vs Superman. So, because I didn't like the original, I didn't like Batman Begins. I hated it. I thought it was dingy and depressing. Everybody who watched it said, "Oh no, it's fantastic." I was like, "No, it's dingy, and it's depressing." Why the fuck do I keep cocking that up? It's dingy, it's depressing, it's nonsensical. The Batman, the bloke who killed Batman's parents, gets killed in the movie. He finds out who does it, and they get killed. I mean, what kind of nonsensicalness is that? Batman never caught the people who killed his parents. That's why he carried on being Batman, because he felt guilty that he never found the person who killed his parents. Well, they're not in any of the ones I read anyway. He might have been some of the standalones or something, but so yeah, I hated him. I could not stand him. I didn't like Christian Bale as Batman. As much as hate might fly my way, I did not like Heath Ledger as the Joker. I didn't think he played the Joker. I thought he played something sort of a cross between the Penguin and the Riddler. It was really weird. But a lot of people loved him. I often wonder, would he be as loved and cherished as in his performance if he hadn't died? So if he hadn't popped his clogs, would people still rave about how fantastic a Joker he was? Because he's good performance, granted. I will admit that. His performance was outstanding. But I just don't think that performance was the Joker. Weird. Spawning, just not coming this way for some reason. Give me your XP goodness. Oh, he managed to. I'm going to die. Yeah, I'm going to die. Going to die, 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 going to die. He is following the shit out of me. Fuck you! I will get closer and I will shoot you in the face. Don't look at me like that. Alright. Bloody baby zombies. Hate them. Hate them with a vengeance. Fuck me. Coal. I think I should avoid that happening again. Really should avoid that happening again. Oh, bollocks. Alright, if I dig out the coal, let's see. But as much as as much as my dislike of Suicide Squad, and as much of Jared Leto's irritation that they took the Joker out, they took a lot of his portrayal of the Joker out of the movie, it seems they made the right decision because it's done very, very, very well for itself. So I think people have embraced DC's decision to make it a little more light-hearted than previous DC movies, and I think people are very happy about that. That's why they're flocking to it. And as I say myself, after watching Gods of Egypt, I revised my decision on Suicide Squad, and yeah, it was a nice, cheesy little movie. It wasn't dank and depressing. Delivered more than other DC movies have done. So hopefully that's more the direction they'll go into. More, I mean, not totally light-hearted. We want, I don't mind some. So what I'm looking for, some. I'm screwed. I knock out that one. Is he going to come through? Fuck you. Put that, those, and that. Yeah, you don't want complete and utter no drama. Obviously, I mean, you want some kind of entertainment, some kind of thing in there, especially with thing. I mean, you take, for instance, Civil War as a benchmark, I suppose. Civil War had good drama, but it also had a lot of a good amount of comedy in there, in places where it belonged. So the comedy didn't override the drama, but it was in nice. So Ant-Man and Spider-Man in that battle, for instance, were absolutely hilarious, and it was much needed up until that point because it was all full on up until that point. So I don't see why DC can't do things like that. I suppose one of the best movies of the Marvel lot for things like that is Guardians of the Galaxy. Just entertaining and enjoyable humour, action, entertaining. That's what DC needs to do. More of that. Stop having billions of people die in earthquakes and monster attacks, and then have everybody whinge that millions of people die in monster attacks. I'd love to make my own movies. I'd be awesome at making movies. They'd either turn out the greatest blockbusters ever made, or I'd be the new Ed Wood. One of the two. And I'd be happy with either. Right. For this, we need more. We need signs. So let's go and make the signs of signage. What day is it today? It's Monday, isn't it? I think. I don't know. I'm not too sure. Gods of Egypt was quite enjoyable. I don't know why everybody had a go at that. I enjoyed it. Rewatched The Witch Hunter as well. That's a good movie. I was quite surprised with that. I was very happy to find that they are thinking about making a second one, which because I thought that after the failure of the first one, I thought the second one wasn't going to happen. So I'm looking forward to if they make a sequel to that. Not sure I'll watch Ben-Hur. I wasn't a big fan of the first one. The original. Movies I'd like to go and watch. There aren't that many. Arrival looks intriguing. With, what's her name? Can't remember her name. It's on the tip of my tongue minutes ago. Please, Lois Lane in Superman movies. I can't remember. But anyway, that looks intriguing. Plus it's got... I actually don't need all this now, so... keep it for the off chance of it. It's got Jamie Renner in it. Jamie Renner is awesome. Always worth a watch.